सभी शिक्षार्थियों को नमस्कार। मेरा नाम प्राची शर्मा है। मैं व्यावसायिक शिक्षा विभाग में कार्यकारी अधिकारी हूं और आज हम जिस विषय के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं वो है अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन। और जिस टॉपिक के बारे में बात करेंगे वो है अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन मीनिंग एंड सिग्निफिकेंस। किसी भी व्यक्ति के जीवन में ईसीसी की शिक्षा एक महत्वपूर्ण रोल अदा करती है। कहा जाए तो ये एक ऐसा समय होता है जहां से बच्चे का लर्निंग फेज स्टार्ट होता है। तो जहां बच्चे का ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट होता है, चाहे वो शारीरिक हो, चाहे वो मानसिक हो, चाहे वो भावनात्मक हो। तो और अधिक डिटेल से चर्चा करने के लिए आज हमारे साथ हमारे विषय विशेषज्ञ बनी हुई हैं जिनका नाम डॉक्टर कीर्ति गुलेरिया है, जो कि आर्मी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एजुकेशन में है। तो हम इस विषय को आगे बढ़ाएंगे। हम मैडम का वेलकम करते हैं। नमस्कार मैम, आप हमें बताइए कि ये अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन में क्या इसका अर्थ है, क्या इसके सिग्निफिकेंस हो सकते हैं। आप इस पर प्रकाश डालिए।
Thank you, Prachi, for introducing a very relevant topic on early childhood care and education. And we'll be taking up the major focus on the meaning and significance of ECCE. As we know, the early childhood care and education forms a very relevant part in the life of any child, because this is the major area and period in life when the development takes place at the rapid pace. So before starting with the chapter, we'll be covering the major objectives of the session, and first of all we'll be describing the meaning and significance of ECCE. We'll be discussing the objectives and components of ECCE. We'll be highlighting the importance of early intervention. We'll be understanding ECCE as per NEP 2020 and describe ECCE in the Indian context. As we had just discussed that early childhood care and education forms of three major aspects. First is early childhood, another part is care, and third part is education. When we talk about early education and early childhood, it is the most important phase in the life of the child, because majority of the developmental areas, they are happening in this particular age. When we talk about various domains of development, be it physical domain or social development, emotional development, language development, the major developmental aspects take place during early childhood. As studies had also revealed that 90% of brain development takes place during this period. So this period forms a basic and forms the most important period in life of a child, which is characterized by rapid growth and development. Coming over to care, it refers to providing love and affection to the child, because a child will develop only when he or she will be provided with the safe environment and with the safe learning area. It also ensures healthy, hygienic, protective and stimulating environment. Coming over to education. Education is the process of acquiring knowledge, skills, values and attitudes through exploration, through observation, through participation, experimentation and interaction. Because any education is incomplete till the time the child is participant of that particular area. We must ensure to provide the healthy and stress-free environment to the child so that they are developing in their natural self. Any stress-free environment or then the loving and caring environment will ensure the child to explore the things. It will ensure the child to observe the things. The child will also participate in multiple activities. He can experiment on his own. He can interact with individual. He can participate in the learning process. So this is very important when we talk about early childhood and education. So these things, these three major criteria, that is care, education and early childhood, forms the basis of ECCE. Coming over to objectives of ECCE. Uddeshya. First of all, it should ensure that children feel safe, secure, accepted and respected in the society. Another objective is to ensure children to have good and balanced nutrition. They should inculcate healthy habits, hygienic practices and self-help skills among children. ECCE should ensure sound language development, skills of communication and expression among the children. It ensures optimum physical and motor development of children as per their potential. Fosters sensory and cognitive abilities of children by providing engaging, participative and stimulative activities. Promote development of pro-social skills and social competence along with children's emotional well-being, and to prepare children for formal learning in school. इन्हीं उद्देश्यों को ध्यान में रखते हुए हम components पर जाते हैं. When we talk about components, there are four major components of ECCE. First is health, nutrition and hygiene. Second is care and protection. Third is early stimulation. And fourth is early learning. Explaining the first part, that is health, nutrition and hygiene. ECCE ensures a safe environment and growth opportunities to the child and mother. So it ensures for health interventions to mother and child. It also provides prenatal and postnatal help to both the children and the mother. It ensures immunization, health checkups, stress-free environment, safe childbirth, to name a few. So health is of utmost importance under ECCE, and our Anganwadis and Balvatikas, they are ensuring to achieve all these targets as set by ECCE. Another component is care and protection. A physically safe and emotionally secure environment is required for the child for proper and utmost development. The child requires that love, belongingness, where he is being cared for and his thoughts are being valued. So only there the child will feel the part of the society, they will feel the part of the work culture, they will feel the urge to learn and urge to move forward. Next component is to the child smell and taste. So opportunities are provided through Vatikas and Anganwadis for better learning of the children, where teachers and Anganwadi workers, they are acting as the facilitator for the small children, for the young children, and multiple opportunities are being provided to them, multiple areas are being given to them for them to learn. So stimulation is being provided, it is being given through the facilitators in the form of Anganwadi workers, Anganwadi teachers and Balvatika teachers. Another component is early learning. When we talk about learning, it is the development of skills, attitudes, habits and values among the children. So whatever value system the children will imbibe during the early childhood, it will give and it will go a long way to the child and in their life, and it will be helpful in the proper development. Anganwadi teachers, they are being trained to provide that kind of learning. They are being trained to provide that protective environment in the school. And they are also being trained to get school ready, because as per new education policy, the children, they have to be school ready by the time they reach the age of 6 years. So ECCE ensures that all the 4 components, they are being taken care of and they are being addressed to. Coming over to significance of ECCE, we have to ensure that first 6 years of children's life, they are taken care of, because they are very important in the life of any child. It also ensures development of brain, which takes place at a rapid rate during these years. And by the time a child is 6 years of age, 90% of brain development has already taken place. This age is crucial for the holistic development of children, and any disruption in the developmental process due to heredity or environment may affect them adversely. Lack of a healthy home and school environment, paucity of stimulation, inadequate nutrition, and poor health care are some of the common factors that lead to developmental delays among children. Also, children acquire various physical, motor, cognitive, social, emotional, and language competencies which are required for a child to grow in a better way. When we talk about intervention, what is intervention and why is it required? When we talk about developmental processes among the children, we have to identify that all the children, they are developing as per the set standards, though the variations will be there, but there are certain set criteria that the child should speak by the time they reach age 2 years or 2.5 years. But if there are speech delays, then they need to be addressed. If the child is unable to hear till the later stage in life, then this is the problem and this is the area where they need attention. If the child is unable to concentrate on anything till the later stage in life, then again it is the area which needs intervention. So when we talk about early intervention, it means taking necessary actions as early as possible to work on child's development and learning needs, thus reducing the effects of any developmental delays. It should ensure provision of appropriate and timely intervention, because when mind is most receptive to learn new thing, and this is the time, early childhood is the age when the child is most receptive. The child is able to take into things, multiple things. So when the right action is being taken at the right time, then there are chances that those developmental delays, they can be controlled and they can be channelized in a proper way. The things that are required to be done, that how early intervention can be done, it can be done through regular health checkups, it can be done through maintaining of records so that the variations or the understanding, it can take place. Also, physical and sensory impairments, they can be diagnosed at the right time. So early intervention is required in order to identify any developmental delays and to give and to channelize the child towards the proper learning. Moving forward to the role of NEP 2020 and the importance NEP 2020 has given to ECCE. Let me reiterate on the point that NEP 2020 has given due importance to ECCE in their policy.
मैम मेरा यहाँ एक क्वेश्चन है, NEP 2020 में क्या ECC का क्या रोल है, कितने ईयर में ये स्टार्ट होती है, मतलब जो नई न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी आई है उसमें ये किस हिसाब से डिवाइड की गई है वो आप हमारे शिक्षकों को बताइए।
जी, प्राची जी, आपने एक बहुत रेलेवेंट सवाल पूछा है। और जैसे हम बात करते हैं शिक्षा प्रणाली की, तो हमारा जो प्रीवियस एकेडमिक स्ट्रक्चर था वो था 10+2, बिल्कुल, जिसके अकॉर्डिंग बच्चे को 1 से 10वीं कक्षा तक की पढ़ाई करनी थी, उसके बाद +2 मतलब 11th और 12th। So by the time the child reaches 18 years of age, वो एक फॉर्मल सेटअप था। नई शिक्षा प्रणाली के अकॉर्डिंग अभी जो विभाजन किया गया है वो है 5+3+3+4, जिसमें पहला लेवल जो है, जो 5 साल है, इनिशियल 5 years, they are considered to be very important and highly relevant in terms of development, which is the foundational stage. And Government of India, they had, as per NEP, they had further divided into 2 parts, that initial 3 years, which are considered to be from 3 to 6 years. And during this period, that the Anganwadis and Balvatikas, they are being taken care of, and they are the Anganwadi and Balvatika teachers and workers, they are being trained to handle the small children and to provide the developmental opportunities. उसके बाद आता है हमारा सेकेंड लेवल, जिसमें एज 6 to 8 years के बच्चे आते हैं। एंड द मेन फोकस ऑफ दिस स्टेज इज व्हेन द ऑब्जेक्टिव इज टू मेक द चाइल्ड स्कूल रेडी, बिकॉज बाय द टाइम द चाइल्ड इज 6 years of age, he must enter the class 1. But before that, the child should be able to understand the school concept. The child should be able to sit properly in the class. The child should be ready to interact with the individual. The child should be ready to be away from home for a certain duration. तो इस दौरान बच्चे को वो पूरी मौका दिया जाता है जहां पर बच्चा सीखे, अपने वातावरण से सीखे, अपने टीचर से सीखे, साथियों से सीखे, और उसके बाद वो स्कूल जाने के लिए रेडी होता है। अगला स्टेज आता है, वह है प्रिपरेटरी स्टेज, विच वर्क्स विद फ्रॉम द एज ग्रुप ऑफ 8 to 11 years, और जो क्लासेस इसमें कवर होती हैं वो है 3 से 5वीं कक्षा तक की क्लासेस में कवर होती हैं। एंड दिस preparatory stage is also considered to be very essential in the child development, because during this stage the child is learning basic arithmetic, basic formulas, basic math, science, and apart from the cognitive understanding and conceptual learning, the child is also learning the social developmental process. The child is learning the way to behave in the society, and how as a member of the nation and as a citizen of the country, how he or she needs to behave and what are their role. So this is the preparatory stage when those basic culture and developmental areas, they are being infused in the children. Though again the focus is through playway method, जहां पर बच्चे को खेल कूद के द्वारा हम पढ़ाई की तरफ अग्रसर करते हैं। अगला स्टेज आता है मिडिल स्टेज, जो 11 से 14 साल के बच्चों के लिए लाभान्वित है, और यहां पर आपकी 6 to 8th क्लास तक के बच्चों का इसमें आवागमन होता है। इसके बाद आती है आपकी सेकेंडरी स्टेज, दैट इज द हायर स्टेज, जहां पर एज ग्रुप आता है आपका 14 से 18 वर्ष, और क्लासेस आती हैं 9 से 12वीं कक्षा तक। सो Government of India, they had divided the new education system as per the 5+3+3+4 system, and again each system and each level has its own relevance, and they have their own value system in the child growth and development.
अगर कहा जाए तो फाउंडेशन लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी पर भी जोर दिया गया है, जो कि निपुण के नाम से जाना जाता है। मतलब ये जो 3 years होते हैं, जो 5 years का है, जिसमें आंगनवाड़ी हो गई, बाल वाटिका हो गई आपकी, और प्री स्कूलिंग हो गई, और फर्स्ट और सेकंड जो 5 years कवर किए गए हैं, जैसे कि आपने बोली 5+3+3+4। तो जो ये 3 वर्ष हैं वो बहुत अधिक महत्वपूर्ण हैं बच्चों की ग्रोथ एंड डेवलपमेंट के लिए। जी कंटिन्यू।
प्राची जी, आपने बहुत अच्छा पॉइंट रखा है, FLN
जी,
फाउंडेशनल लिटरेसी एंड न्यूमरेसी।
जी,
तो जब हम बात करते हैं FLN पर, इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट फाउंडेशनल लर्निंग। Here we are encouraging and developing the child to be future secure in the education system. And for that, multiple opportunities are being given to the child in order to construct their own learning. When we are talking about construction of learning, it also refers to the inquiry-based learning, collaborative efforts. It talks about multiplicity, thought-taking, and when we talk about a very renowned American philosopher and educationist, John Dewey, he had spoken about 4 major impulses that each child they carry. First is communication impulse. Every child wants to talk. Every child wants to communicate with each other. Every child wants to interact with each other. Next is constructive impulse. They want to construct their own knowledge by interacting with others, by moving around, by running around, by pulling the things down. जो शोर होता है कक्षा में, जो इधर उधर बच्चे वार्तालाप करते हैं, नॉइज क्रिएट होती है, उन सब में वो एक कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है, नॉलेज का कंस्ट्रक्शन हो रहा है. तो ये कंस्ट्रक्टिव इंपल्स है जो डेवी बता रहे हैं. तीसरा इंपल्स है इंपल्स टू इन्वेस्टिगेट एंड एक्सप्लोर.
मैम एक छोटा सा ब्रेक लेते हैं, हम यहाँ पे शिक्षार्थियों, फिर हम आगे की जो चर्चा है ब्रेक के बाद करते हैं.
करने राहों को आलोकित करने, जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने. धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, धन साधन समय की सीमा से विद्यालय जो मुक्त हो, कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो, कभी पढ़े हम कहीं पढ़े वे विषय की लोच से युक्त हो, मित्रों हम उठे और जागे, मंजिल आने की ध्वनि सुने, हम अपना दीपक स्वयं बने, हम अपना रास्ता स्वयं चुने, जीवन ये प्रकाशित करने राहों को आलोकित करने. राष्ट्रीय मुक्त विद्यालय का है द्वार खुला सबकी खातिर, शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर, शिक्षा परीक्षा का अवसर एक बार ही क्यों मिलता फिर, दुनिया में इसके केंद्र बात कोई मन चाहा केंद्र चुने, हम अपना
ब्रेक के बाद पुनः स्वागत है और आज हम जिस टॉपिक के बारे में चर्चा कर रहे थे वो है अर्ली चाइल्डहुड केयर एंड एजुकेशन, मीनिंग एंड सिग्निफिकेंस। और आज हमारे साथ जो विशेषज्ञ बनी हुई हैं वो है मिस कीर्ति गुलेरिया जी, जो कि आर्मी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ एजुकेशन में है, कार्यरत है। मैम, दोबारा से हम चर्चा करते हैं इस टॉपिक के बारे में।
जी प्राची, तो ब्रेक से पहले हम चर्चा कर रहे थे जॉन डेवी के 4 इम्पल्सेस पर, जिन पर उन्होंने बताया था कि हर बच्चा he or she works upon those 4 impulses. As we had spoken about the first as the communication impulse, that where every child wants to talk, they want to communicate with each other, they want to communicate with their teachers, with their people surrounding them. Second impulse is impulse to construct. They want to construct their own knowledge, they want to construct their areas, the understanding that is through which they are learning. Third impulse is to explore and investigate. The child has number of many questions: how, why, what. Reason being, the child's mind is inquisitive. They want to know many things. They want to get the answers of multiple things. So this is what is impulse to investigate and impulse to explore. And the fourth impulse is the artistic expression, because every child, they want to be engaged in some kind of art and craft, music, drama, clay activity. That is why the child learns better when they are being provided with such activities. So keeping those things in mind and keeping multiple future objectives, NEP 2020 had few recommendations related to ECCE in NEP 2020. So we'll discuss those recommendations in detail. First being universal provisioning. Second, holistic development of children. Third is curricular and pedagogical framework for ECCE. Fourth is expansion and strengthening of ECCE facilities. Next is professionalization of high quality educators. And sixth is planning and implementation of ECCE. Coming over to the first part and first recommendation as per NEP about universal provisioning, that is to provide the opportunities for early childhood care and education to all the field in all the part of the country, and they ensure that universal provisioning of quality early childhood education care must be achieved as soon as possible. And the benchmark that they had set is of 2030, to ensure that each student who is entering grade 1, they are school ready and they are being trained and given opportunities to learn the basics that we had just spoken about, FLN, before reaching class 1. Next area which is under recommendation of NEP 2020 is the holistic development of children. When we talk about optimal outcome in the domain of physical and motor development, cognitive development, socio-emotional, ethical development, cultural development, and the development of communication and early language, literacy and numeracy through flexible, multi-listed, multi-level, play-based, activity-based and inquiry-based learning. It also includes a focus on developing social capacities, sensitivity, good behavior, courtesy, ethics, personal and public cleanliness, teamwork and cooperation. So NEP, it focuses on all-round development of a child, which comprises of the motor development, cognitive development, socio-emotional development, cultural development, language development, to name a few. Because NEP wants a child to be ready and to be developed in their whole sense. Coming over to the third recommendation, that is curricular and pedagogical framework for ECCE. What NEP 2020 is focusing upon is developing a national curricular and pedagogical framework, that is NCPF, for ECCE for children till the age of 8 years, to be developed by NCERT in 2 parts. First part is sub-framework for 0 to 3 years old, and second part will cover children from 3 to 8 years old. And they will be, the content and the framework will be developed as per the guidelines of the document. Another recommendation is about expansion and strengthening of ECCE facilities. Since government is talking about universalization of elementary education and strengthening of ECCE facilities, so for that universal access to high quality ECCE is required in the country, and it will be delivered through standalone Anganwadis. Another Anganwadis which are co-located with primary schools, pre-primary schools oblique sections covering at least age 5 to 6 years, co-located with the existing primary schools, and stand-alone preschools. And all these Anganwadis and all these subsections, they will recruit workers and teachers who are specially trained to take up the guidelines and pedagogy of ECCE. These centers, that is Anganwadi centers, will be strengthened with high quality infrastructure, play equipments, and well-trained Anganwadi teachers oblique workers to handle and to take care of all the small children who are coming there, and to make them school ready by the age of 6 years. It also ensures that before the age of 5, every child will move to a preparatory class or Balvatika, which has an ECCE qualified teacher. The learning in the preparatory class shall be based primarily on play-based learning with a focus on developing cognitive, affective, and psychomotor abilities and early literacy and numeracy. It has also the provision of midday meal program, which shall be extended to the preparatory classes in primary schools. Health checkups and growth monitoring that are available in the Anganwadi system shall also be made available to preparatory class students of Anganwadi as well as the primary schools. Another area where ECC is focusing upon is the professionalization of high quality educators. When we talk about Anganwadi workers and teachers, then they should be well trained in order to handle the small children and to guide them for their holistic development. So for that, Anganwadi workers or teachers with qualification of 10+2 and above that shall be given a 6-month certificate program in ECCE, and those with lower educational qualifications shall be given a 1-year diploma program covering early literacy, numeracy, and other relevant aspects of ECCE. And these programs may run through digital/distance mode using DTH channels as well as smartphones, which is allowing teachers to acquire ECCE qualifications with minimal disruption to their current work. The ECCE training of Anganwadi workers will be mentored by the cluster resource centers of the school education department, which shall hold at least 1 monthly contact class for continuous assessment. In the longer run, state government shall prepare cadres of professionally qualified educators for early learning and childhood care and education through state-specific professional training, mentoring, mechanism, and career mapping. So government has focused highly on the training of the Anganwadi workers and their strengthening, so that when they will be taking up the education and when they are part of the learning among the children, they are equally qualified and equally equipped to provide the given requirements to the child. Another recommendation is planning and implementation of ECCE. The responsibility for ECCE curriculum and pedagogy will lie with MHRD to ensure its continuity from pre-primary school through primary school and to ensure due attention to the foundational aspects of education. The planning and implementation of early childhood care and education curriculum will be carried out jointly by Ministries of HRD, Ministry of Women and Child Development, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs. So these four ministries, they will be part of planning and implementation of the policy matters. A special task force will be constituted for continuous guidance of the smooth integration of early childhood care and education into school education. So as we had seen that Government of India, they had given a detailed map and detailed planning for implementation of ECCE in the long run.
मैम मेरा यहाँ एक सवाल है, ECC में पेरेंट्स और कम्युनिटी का क्या रोल है? एक क्वेश्चन है मेरा
जी।
हाँ जी।
जब हम बात करते हैं सोसाइटी की, तो हम गवर्नमेंट के एफर्ट्स को और आंगनवाड़ी के एफर्ट्स को एक तरफा ना रख के हमें सभी का सहयोग से इस प्रोग्राम को आगे बढ़ाना है।
बिल्कुल।
जब हम बात करते हैं सोसाइटी की और पेरेंट्स की, तो पेरेंट्स एंड सोसाइटी प्ले अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट रोल इन द फाइनल डेवलपमेंटल एंड success of this program. For this, we have to make the parents a part of this scheme, a part of this developmental project. Because till the time parents are not aware कि why this program is being undertaken or why क्यों हम अपने बच्चों के लिए इतना, हम क्यों बाल वाटिका में भेजें, हम क्यों आंगनवाड़ी में भेजें, या क्या महत्व है इस प्रोग्राम का, तो जब तक पेरेंट्स को ही इसके बारे में जानकारी नहीं होगी तब तक वो इस विकास में सहायक नहीं हो सकते. तो वी हैव टू टेक पेरेंट्स, सोसाइटी all together along with the policy makers. Though policy makers, they have prepared a very vast and exhaustive policy which is covering and which is focusing upon the child and their all-round development in a majority of way, in the holistic way. But till the time all the stakeholders of the society, they are not part of this journey, the ultimate objective cannot be achieved properly. So we have to undertake, the parents and society all together, they have to be taken into confidence about this project. Moving further with the ECCE in Indian context, जब हम बात करते हैं हमारे भारतवर्ष में ECCE एक नया अध्याय नहीं है. बहुत पुराने काल से अर्ली चाइल्डहुड पर बात चल रही है, उनके केयर और एजुकेशन पर हमेशा से ही फोकस किया गया है. अगर हम फ्रीडम फाइटर्स की बात करें, अगर हम पुराने स्वतंत्रता सेनानी की बात करें, अगर हम रेवोल्यूशनरीज की बात करें, तो उन्होंने ECCE को सोसाइटी में लाने के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा योगदान दिया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल गीजू भाई जी ने, and he believed that education is the key to importance of focal development of every children. So for this, he has founded Bal Mandir in Ahmedabad. And for that, they had focused upon the all-round and holistic development of the child from the early ages. When we talk about other revolutionaries, like we have Tarabai Modak, she also helped significant contributions in the field of preschool education in India. And she was the one who had settled and set up the Nutan Bal Shikshan Sangh in Mumbai, जहां पर हर background के बच्चे, they can come and they can learn with their experiences. We also have the Montessori system, which is being founded by Maria Montessori, which is an approach to pre-education. So another writings, that is educational thinkers like Mahatma Gandhi, Rabindranath Tagore ji, Zakir Hussain ji, they all have worked hard and Their philosophy is direct towards the development of children and development of students too in their initial formative years of life. The Government of India has made significant contributions to improve the accessibility and quality of education provided to young children. In 1975, we had the Integrated Child Development Scheme, ICDS, which was launched by Government of India to address health, nutrition and the developmental needs of children under 6 years of age. Also, in recent years, there is high focus of ECCE in the 5-year plans in the formulation of National Education, Early Childhood Care and Education Policy 2013 and NEP 2020, which is highly focusing upon the quality education of the young children. So as we had seen that a lot of efforts and they had been made into this field in order to provide a carefree environment to the child, a system in the society where the child is free to learn, the child is free to interact with others, the child is coming forward out of his comfort zone and they are exploring new things. They are learning through inquiry based learning, because the mind is very inquisitive. Till the time the child will not engage himself into learning, actual learning will not happen. So ECC is a very important concept, and since early childhood it is forming the base of the developmental part, and this is the area and this is the stage when given proper guidance and direction, the child will be able to achieve his objectives, the child will be able to learn. Basically, learning is what? It is the acquiring of new skills, habits, which is running in the long way. So it is not something what we had learned today and we had grasped today and we had forgotten tomorrow. For learning, actual learning to happen, the child should be a part of the learning system, learning environment, where they are being given the proper opportunities, the facilities are being given. And for that, again, the trained teachers, Anganwadi teachers should be there, who are supporting the child, who are listening to their queries, who are listening to their questions, and they're providing the guidance. They are correcting them wherever they are going wrong. So Anganwadi system, Bal Vatikas, they are playing a major role in the success of ECCE. So with this we come to the end of the session, and we would like to recapitulate what all we had undertaken during last 1 hour. And as we had undertaken that early year means the first 8 years in the life of the child, which are very essential for their growth and development, because the majority of the development takes place during this period. And we had understood about the concept of ECCE and what it talks about, what it focuses upon, and how the learning opportunities they are being provided to children till the class, till the age of 8 years for holistic development of the child, and how we are ensuring that the child is school ready before reaching class 1. ECC is also, it comprises of health, nutrition, care and protection, and how early stimulation, early learning, they are part of the component of ECCE, and how they are contributing in this development of the child. Development is also a complex and continuous process which takes place in the physical, motor, socio-emotional, language and cognitive domains. So these domains are interrelated and influence children's holistic development. So major focus has to be undertaken during these formative years through FLN, through majority of activities, through play-based method, through inquiry-based learning, that how child is undertaking grasping the idea. There can be several reasons for developmental delays in children, such as heredity, complications during pregnancy or childbirth, illness or accidents after birth, etc. But those complications, they should not be made as the stop or the something terminating their developmental process. So efforts should be made in order to intervene at the right time, at the right space, where the child, which is ensuring the child to develop and to access their objectives. So early intervention is of utmost requirement, it is of utmost importance in identifying and assessing any developmental delays and in taking corrective actions. And we had also discussed upon NEP 2020, which is highly focusing upon ECCE and the major recommendations that Government of India they had undertaken, and through this policy document the major guidelines have been given, major recommendations have been given for achieving the goals of ECCE. So with this we come to end of the session, and we want to make this word a better word through ECCE and through the contribution and through cooperation of each one of us. So thank you so very much. Dhanyavad.